Welcome back after a long period of time. Right now, okay, we need to understand the main snakes. Again, I'm going to call about the main snakes of the government. Okay, now tell me corruption and the big two anacondas and the seven small anacondas. Okay, which is breeding the snakes. The first one is the corruption. Is the biggest anaconda. It's the biggest anaconda ever. When corruption happens, what is corruption? Means the funds which is being given by the central banks to the government for the development of infrastructure, healthcare, education, energy sectors, everything, as well as the creation of employment opportunities for the people's welfare. Okay, that is the reason why the central governments they give it. The central banks they give it to the central governments. Okay, those who are in and they submit. Okay, so this is the thing. Yeah, now if they are giving that much important thing, if they are giving that much important to you, especially to you, you need to understand. Okay, because these people they never ever care about anyone. Okay, first of all, they give the money to the central banks. Okay, first the central banks give the money to the government, and the government. Okay, it's not like everything happens through the directly. It happens indirectly from the DCs to the engineers and the engineers to the ministers, which means there is primary corruption, there is secondary corruption. The secondary corruption is safe inside the is there safe inside the vault. Okay, they know how to have the vault. Okay, all these things they know. It is safe inside the homeland banks, means the motherland banks. They like SBI, Canara Bank, Central Banks of India. Okay, Central Bank of India. Okay, regional rural banks. All these banks, it is very easy to deposit the money in different bank accounts. And at the same point of time, by doing the corruption, the secondary corruption guys means all these people who are involved, at the government employees who are having the funds, who knows what minister is doing, the government clerks, everyone. This is first. This is the secondary corruption. Then the primary corruption is happens through the primary. Main important thing is the biggest chunk goes to the minister and the politicians. They will sit and eat for the rest of their lifetime. Millions and millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars, 50, 100 million, hundreds of millions of dollars they will spend. And they will print billions and billions of dollars. Okay, they will have not millions, billions and billions of dollars they have, US dollars. And that too in there, that too they can deposit here, they can dump it here, they have to dump it somewhere else. Where they will dump? Mostly in Swiss, mostly in the LLCs, mostly in the offshore accounts, like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Palantir, Blackstone. Okay, mostly in the Swiss banks. Swiss banks is famous because it is most secure for everyone. And at the same point of time, it is at the same point of time, I think JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, because these all banks are the Deutsche Bank. Okay, means all the banks are there in all the parts of the world. Okay, I can't name it anyone, but these banks are mostly preferred because they are secure. And at the same point of time, USA is there. The USA, the big boy, the big man, the big lord, the big bulldozer of all time, USA government, not the USA people, the USA government. Whoever controls, I'm not talking about one person, I'm talking about the entire USA government only. I'm talking about the government structure, which benefits the bankers. Okay, forget about them. Now, corruption happens. Okay, whatever the money which needs to be there inside, used for the people of the land. What is corruption? Whatever the funds, whatever the sum of a digital number that is should be used for the development, should be used for the buying up of the cement, steel, iron, construction of the education institutions, financial institutions, as well as the industries, factories. garments, textiles, everything, as well as the creation of and creation of employment opportunities, employing the people inside these assets. Okay, inside these assets means creation of the all these things, creation of the revenue producing assets, as well as the creation of revenue producing assets and employing the people of the land who are unemployed and passing them into this revenue producing assets and giving them salary. Okay, then that is going to be taxed. And okay, so the government has a lot of cash. Government prints hell of a cash, hell of a cash, hell of a cash. Okay, no government inside the world is corrupt. No government inside the world, no nation inside the world is corrupt. But because of few tiny section of people who are keeping the money inside their pockets and they are not paying the taxes regularly, especially the rich man, and some of the people, they are paying the taxes regularly, but they are keeping a large section of large amount of money within their pocket. Okay, in their pocket, and those pockets are going to be transferred to the other motherland, means other nations. That means they have the dominance. What is the dominance they have? Okay, they have the dominance of sending the money to those countries without any scrutiny. Okay, without any scrutiny, they will do it because even though no, even they know everything is illegal, since they have power inside their hands, since they have high friends in the high places, in the powerful places, this is they have powerful friends in the powerful places they have. Okay, which means nobody is going to stop them. Nobody is going to stop them from doing it. Okay, and the people are going to justify it. Okay, it's a part of process. I don't know about the cricket. I don't know about the people. Forget about the people. Who are these Indian people who will never ever ask any one question also? And they do some useless protest. That protest is not going to give them independence. That protest is going to give them ointments or gels. Okay, what is the ointments or gels? Just small relief for that particular wound. That's it. But the government knows how to give the wounds again and again back. The governing body, which gives you the votes again and again, irrespective of whatever the party is going to come, wherever it is going to come, you have to remove that governing body only, and you have to install one man who will serve you for the rest of your lifetime without giving any wound. Okay, that's the thing you need to have, but these people will never ever understand that thing. That's the reason you need the kingdoms. That's the reason you need dictatorship. But you're not giving the dictatorship back. But you think like, okay, dictatorship means, okay, he's going to rule like a, you know what? Okay, I'm not a king. Okay, I'm not a king. I'm a middle class man like you. I understand the problems. Forget about the dictator or a civilian. Okay, okay, I know how to make the money. I know that's really well. Okay, but the starting point is very, very important. Now, now tell me, this entire thing, okay, when it is going to end, I don't know. But these funds, where they are being used? They are being used somewhere. Where it is being used? In those other countries in which our ministers have secretly deposited the money. Okay. Okay, the rule of triangle. What is the rule of triangle? Okay, you need to understand what is the rule of triangle. Triangle is very, very important aspect of our daily life. Okay, what is the rule of triangle? Okay, you need to understand what is the rule of triangle. But without understanding the rule of triangle, you can't even understand what is happening. Come here. Let me show the rule of triangle. Okay, now see the diagram. The bank, the Indian government, and the rich section. The bank, the Swiss government, and the rich section of the, okay, this section of the Swiss. Okay, this section of the Switzerland. Okay, the funds needs to be actually development for the India. It needs to be there, but it is going where? Okay, it is okay, but it is secretly dumped. It's secretly dumped into the Swiss banks. Okay, when it is secretly dumped into the Swiss banks, it is going to be collected here in this junction. In this junction, it is going to be collected, that money, the corrupt funds. Okay, what will happen if the corrupt funds are going to be used in the Swiss banks? Okay, the Swiss banks practice something called as fractional reserve banking systems. The fractional reserve banking systems are used to give out the funds. So this is a Swiss citizen. This is a Swiss citizen. So if it is a Swiss citizen, okay, the Swiss citizen is going to get what? The loan from our money. From our money, he is going to get the loan. Okay, and the Swiss government, okay, using that loan, he is going to buy some goods and commodities like TVs, fridges, okay, washing machines, okay, accessories, electronical gadgets, iPhones, everything. Or else, if is okay, this is only possible if it is produce the salary certificate. Okay, the salary certificate, okay, to measure your, okay, repaying capacity, how much you can repay. Okay, okay, that is not for, you know what, okay, they will have a lot of scrutiny for you. They will have a lot of scrutiny for you. See the loan. TV, fridges, washing machines. Okay, if it is a salary certificate, salary certificate, you will get, okay, only loans available for these things. Okay, means very less money will get. Okay, but okay, if it is a valuable item, it's a valuable item. That is valuable item is going to appreciate over the time. That is going to be compounded over time, which means inflation. Okay, inflation is directly proportional to time. When inflation I is directly proportional to T, okay, INF is directly proportional to T. Okay, which means, okay, di is inversely proportional to dt. Okay, so this, okay, di by dt, is inversely proportional to 1. So forget about this all things mathematical equation. You will not understand anything. Okay, it's useless. Okay, but okay. But you need to understand TV, fridges, washing machines, electrical appliances, mixers, grinders, everything. You will get the salary security. Okay, you will get this much, and most of the times to take the risk. The banks, they don't want to take the risk because they need to see your recovering capacity, because they will think a lot of negative factors. You're gonna lose the job, okay, because okay, you can quit at any point of time, or else okay, if you're in a private worker, if you're a private worker, then the lot of problems will happen, okay, because a lot of problems will happen by giving you the loans. That is the first thing. The second thing, okay, they can kick you out. Second thing. The third thing, you're gonna have an accident, you're gonna lose the job. The fourth one, okay, because of your mistake, they can be, and a wrong impression upon you. Okay, a lot of things are there, okay, which can lead you to removal of job. And okay, and the sixth thing is AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, which means there are many methods to remove one particular human from a job if he is unlucky. So the banks will think all these things, and that's the reason they hesitate to give you the loans, because you are working for an asset. You are working for an asset. The common man works for an asset, and that asset is going to be held by a rich man. Okay. The common man works for an asset, and okay, and the rich man holds the asset. Means he is the owner. He is the owner of this asset, which means the asset, okay, when he is working for the asset and he is getting repaid from this man through that salary, that is a juice, that's a droplets, it is getting the droplets, that is called as a salaries. Okay, with salaries, the common man is getting the salaries. Okay, that is common man is getting the salaries, and the rich man is holding this ownership, and this asset is going to be appreciating over time. Means the valuation of this asset, the valuation of this asset appreciates, means it compound grows over the time. Okay, when the valuation of the okay asset appreciate, means it is compound, it increases over the time, which means this assets grows over time. Okay, and if these assets are held as a collateral inside the banks, which means the bank has the ownership until the debt is repaid. The bank will never ever have a problem, because if it is a house, if it is a school, if it is an industry, if it is a factory, okay, which means okay, even though if you repay, even fail to repay the loan, okay, with respect to the time, they will wait for it to jump, the prices to jump in a high way, in a completely highest way. When they take all these things, and they will increase the value, because the banks work for inflation, the governments work for inflation, and the rich men work for inflation. When all these three people, they work for inflation, they want these prices to get increased. Okay, and even though if you have okay, even though okay, the common man works for an asset and the rich man holds the ownership. So I told this, okay, means okay, okay, if you submit the salary certificate, you are going to get very less, because the ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ ಆಗ್ಯದ ಮಾಡೇನಿ. Yeah, his whether I've done the lunch, I have done the my grandpa. Now okay, he has to work for an asset. Now he has to work for an asset, he has to work for the okay, now the common man has to work for the asset, means he is getting the salaries, and it depends upon the asset performance. Okay, that whether his salary is going to be increasing or not. If the asset is performing really well, then this rich man can pay him the extra salary and he can keep it. Okay, so they will check the background also. Okay, how this. Okay, that's the reason they demand you the salary certificate in which you are working, in house, in school, in your industries, in your factories, house, schools, colleges, medical institutions. Forget about that. Now, okay, I'm talking about corruption. This is salary certificate. Now, okay, what about the real estate? The real estate is going to be hold, and this is going to be there. And this Swiss people, the people who are living in the Switzerland, they are going to get the loan, and they are going to give out I. That is I interest. They are going to give you. And when the and Swiss banks, they are going to collect the interest. Actually, whose money it is? Actually, whose money it is? They have lent out. Actually, whose money it is? Who? Okay, actually, whose money it is? Which they have lent out, because they need to have the deposit. Then only they can lend it. Otherwise, they will not be able to fractionally divide it. They need some deposit. Okay, and that deposit is going to be fractionally divided to give out the loans. Whose money it is? It's our money, which needs to be used for our development, our infrastructure, our employment opportunities by establishing the revenue producing assets. Okay, the revenue producing assets, the assets producing the revenue, and employing the people of India, employing the unemployed youth of India in these assets by establishing the factories, textiles, garments, okay, everything. Okay, which means our money is directly going to the Swiss banks. The RBI money, which is okay, means from RBI to the ministers, minister to Swiss banks, which means from RBI it is going directly to the Swiss banks and following it. Okay, directly I'm telling. From RBI it is going, means Indian Central Bank is giving the money directly to the Swiss bank. See the death penalty we have. See the death penalty, which means okay, the Indian bank, the RBI gives it to government. Government means the ruling party. The ruling party means okay, the ministers. The ministers means they have greed, and they have greed. Okay, they will send it to Swiss. Okay, which means RBI is directly sending to Swiss. So RBI sends it to Swiss, and the Swiss people they get loans. And who will get the loans? Who will get the loans? Who will get the loans? Tell me. The loans will be get by okay, the people who have employment opportunities, those who are employed, okay, either by government or else either by private. Okay, which means if they are employed by government, if they are employed by private, okay, what is the meaning of this? Okay, they are going to submit the salary certificate, or else they will pass some valuable item. That valuable item can be real estate, anything. Okay, and they will the Swiss banks, they will hold the real estate or the salary certificate as the collateral. Even the salary certificates are collateral. Okay, salary certificates can act as a collateral. It's just a temporary collateral, because they don't because they want the permanent collateral. There is a difference between a temporary collateral and a permanent collateral. Temporary collateral means salary certificates, means you are working somewhere and you are able to repay it in installment to them. That is what the temporary is. Okay, that is what the temporary thing is all about. So what about the permanent collateral? The permanent collateral is something which is real estate, which is permanent. Means if a building is established, that is building. Okay, until earthquake comes, or okay, tsunami comes. Okay, dangerous earthquake or dangerous tsunami or dangerous flood. All these three things will come at a point of time and they will destroy that building. Then that building has to be reconsidered again. And all the equipments, all the machines, they have to be installed again. That is the only thing. Okay, the banks can take that risk. Okay, that is natural disaster. And these people, they have insurance policies also. Okay, don't worry about this. About the natural devastation. Okay, forget about that. Now, if these people, hey, sound come here, pa. Now here, now here, see. Now, okay, what I'm talking, I don't understand, man. Okay, I forget everything. See the one. Let the valuable things. I think. Okay, valuable things. Yes, the valuable things. They will take it out and they will get the money. Okay, means it's just like India is giving out the Swiss banks. Means India from what? Okay, from which money it is? Okay, the Swiss banks, they have authority to lend that money which does not existed. Yes, it has property. It has the property of fractional banking. But the first thing is there should be deposit. The first thing there should be a deposit. Without deposit only you cannot start the fractional reserve banking. That is the rule. Which means the deposit where it is from coming. That is coming from Indian ministers. That is falling into Swiss. When it is falling into Swiss, the Swiss people are getting the loans. When the Swiss people are getting the loans, they are submitting the employment opportunities. Okay, they are getting it. And you know what is happens with this employment? Okay, what is happens with the salaries? The salaries, the salaries, they are going to have tax, and the PF will be cut 401k savings, because okay, means the government wants to withdraw from the, okay, borrow from the 401ks, and they have to pay the banks with the interest later. The bank, okay, okay, first the government will get the tax. The government will tax you first, and the banks will cut your PF. The governments will cut your. The government is the biggest enemy. Always remember, the government is the biggest enemy. The government will cut your tax. Will first cut to the head first. Cut the hand. That is tax. It will taxation system. When it is going to cut the tax, and from the taxation systems as well as the PF, the provident funds. Okay, that is 401k. Okay, the pension funds, the 401k, retirement savings. Okay, because the government has to borrow from that thing, and that's the reason government is cutting that thing and keeping it inside the banks so that it can borrow. Okay, now, which means the government is getting, okay, forget, so this is the how the government functions. The Swiss government is now getting the taxes, because the salaries are taxed. The Swiss government gets that salaries which is taxed. Okay, the Swiss government gets, okay, gives the salaries, but the salaries are going to be taxed because it is going to cut a fraction of the salary, small section of the salary. Okay, well, but but that only belongs to one person. Now, but there are millions of people who are living in Switzerland, which means that is giving them millions and millions, billions and billions. Means the government is getting the taxes. First, the government is getting the taxes. The Swiss banks, they are getting the interest from the loans which they have given, and the Swiss people development will happen because they have got what, the house, they have got these loans for, okay, getting the TVs, fridges, washing machines, okay, electrical appliances, mixers, grinders, okay, smartphones, iPhones, everything. So which means the Swiss people are getting the goods and commodities, and on that particular good and commodity, they are getting the taxes. They are giving out the taxes to that particular Swiss government. Means the Swiss currency is getting stronger because of the constant deposit of the currencies. When the constant deposit of the funds of that particular currency will happen, so which means the life which you have is somewhat concerning, because the banks and the Swiss government and the rich man, okay, these people are giving out the money to whom? Because they want TVs, fridges, washing machines, and everyone. Means the rich section of India is getting stronger. The rich section of Switzerland is getting strong. Yes, the rich section of Switzerland is getting strong. And through these loans, each they are buying the good every single goods and commodities within Switzerland only. So, which means if you do one simple mistake, okay, one big mistake without knowing, one simple mistake, without knowing that that is the biggest mistake of your life, then on the top of that you are acting like, okay, as if you have done nothing, and you are going for the development of India, that when you have never done anything for us, and you say that because through our money, through RBI money, through RBI, the Reserve Bank of India money, which was established in 1935 by the Britishers, and they passed almost, okay, they also passed what? The Government of India Act in 1935. So RBI was established in 1935, and you know what? Okay, and right now the RBI's money is there in RBI's money means RBI gives it to government. Government means ruling party. Ruling party means who is there in ruling party? Animals are there, or aliens are there, or anacondas are there, ministers are there, man, humans. They have some greed. Humans have greed. That's the reason they have deposit. They have accumulated wealth, but they can't deposit here. They can't dump it here. They have to dump it somewhere else. That is the Swiss bank. That's a playground for them, and the RBI gives it to Swiss. Okay, which means RBI is directly sending it to Swiss in one or the other way, indirect. RBI is directly sending the money to Swiss, and that Swiss is going to give it to Swiss people, because that money is not safe. No money inside any bank is safe. No money inside the bank is safe. That number value is safe inside the server. That value is safe inside the server. That's it. That's it. Okay, when the Swiss people are going to get everything. The Swiss people are going to get everything. Swiss government is going to get the taxes from the funds which we have given, from the funds which are given by the Reserve Bank of India directly to the Swiss, okay, through the ministers, okay, through the ministers as the mediators. So the Swiss government is collecting the taxes. The rich section of the Swiss government, they are getting benefited, because these people, they are chasing the goods and services. Who has the goods and services? The rich man, of course, because they will take the loan amount and they will deposit. They will give the cash or check, and they will sign it, and they will make them into your own. Means the rich section of Switzerland, they are getting it huge. That too from our money. That too from our money. Now Swiss banks are getting the interest, because these people have to pay out the loans with the interest. Okay, they have taken some loans, and you know what? When they will get the loan? Okay, if they are employed, then only they will get the loan, which means their salaries are also taxed, and the goods and services, whatever they are buying inside that thing, okay, taking that loan, that is also taxed, and that all the taxes goes to the Swiss government, which means RBI is responsible for increasing the value of Swiss currency, not Indian currency. Why? If you deposit too many funds inside the treasury, if you deposit too much funds inside the inside one land, if you deposit the funds of one currency, of a particular currency, too much funds, then the currency valuation will jump. Which means RBI is not valuating our own currencies. RBI is valuating Swiss currencies. RBI is strengthening not Indian currencies. The central banks of India, they are not strengthening the Indian currencies. The central banks of India, they are indirectly strengthening the Swiss bank's currency, Swiss currency. Which means we are getting doomed. The Indians, they are getting doomed. And that's the reason there is a lot of poverty there. If I see the connections here. This is indirect thing. This is Indian government. I'm talking especially about Indian government. Now, this is first way. This is corruption. Now the treasury bonds. Let's talk about the India's treasury bonds first. Here, Indian government. Here, the Indian government. It is sending the money directly to USA government. This is USA. And the Indian government is buying US government's USA's okay USA's treasury bonds TB treasury bonds, and the USA government promises that it will pay out the Indian government the coupon interest, which is very going to be less, and whatever the Indian government has invested in this particular USA government, that mixed, and that money is not going to be completely taken out. Why it is not taken out? Why? To maintain the bilateral relations. To maintain the bilateral relations, USA government and the Indian government, it's just like India is paying USA government some $240 billion of USD dollars. They have it. Which means that is how much? 2 lakh, okay, 240 billion into 90, how much? 21,600 billion rupees, because $1 is equal to 90, means 21,600 billion rupees. They are invested 20,000 billion rupees inside the USA to get some useless coupon interest, which they are using it for the development of India. They say like this. What they will say, okay, what they will say, that we have given out the, we are taking the interest back, and that is safe. We can sell it at any point of time. Are you going to sell it at any point of time? All, tell me. You are never going to sell it, okay, because you know that USA is a big boy, okay. USA is a big boy. It's a big lord. It's a big man. It's a big giant corporation, administrative corporation plus the financial corporation, because it's okay. The United States of America, the spelling is written in, what? It is written in complete capital letters. That means it is a corporate entity. It does not means it is a private entity. Okay, it's okay, legalized entity, which means they have the problems. What is the problem? What is the problem? It does not value about anyone. It only values the corporate interest and the corporate capitalism. Okay, well and good. If it values about the corporate capitalism, then why the hell it is going to value about India when it does not value about, okay, its own people, only values about its corporates? Okay, if it is a corporate nation, US is a corporate nation, you need to understand that. Okay, forget about US. Now I talk about Indian government. What Indian government is getting? It is getting some useless interest. Okay, that is coupon interest. They are getting it back. Does this coupon interest is going to be given to us as a dividend, as we are the citizens of India and we have paid the taxes, fines, penalties, and the renewal of insurance? Every single thing we have done. We have paid you the house tax, we have paid you the fuel tax, every single year. We have paid you. Have you given us the dividends back? No, you have not given us the dividends back. You will never give us dividends back. But if I am correct, you say that okay, you will utilize that funds inside the government treasury, that funds goes inside the government treasury, and you are going to okay, sorry, this is not Indian government, central banks, I think. Okay, the central banks is exact central banks or government, okay, whichever invest, are they going to, okay, and these banks, they say okay, as if they are going to do some great, yeah, what is that? Yeah, what is that, man? Okay, always I am yawning. Always I am yawning, So which means they have certain interest. Like, so okay. So which means they have to give out the interest. They have to give out the interest. What is the interest to us? Because that interest should be given to us because we have paid the taxes, and they are getting the interest. Remember, you invest in treasury bonds. You invest in the treasury bonds. That's not your goddamn money, okay? Because that is our money. That's not your money. That's our money because we have paid the taxes to you. We have paid the fines to you. We have paid the penalties to you. We have paid every single insurance policies to you. Okay, renewal of insurance, that is going to collect the tax. You are going to collect the tax on every single insurance we have done for ourselves. We have given the taxes to you. We have paid the taxes to you. Okay. Okay, on every single renewal of insurance. Okay, that goes to you. On every single challan, okay, some percentage of money goes to the government. On every single fuel, okay, which we are putting inside our vehicles, which we are running it, we are paying the taxes to you. And you are putting the pressure on us through the imports and exports. Okay, you are putting the pressure on us through the imports and exports. The imports is greater than exports. That is also biggest snake. That is also third snake. That is the third snake. That is one of the snakes. Why the snakes? Even though you have currency devaluation, okay, what is the meaning of currency devaluation? Means your currency is having diluted, is completely having low value. Okay, this is the highest value, and this is the lowest value. Okay, your currency has very low value, and it is a high value. And you know what? You need the funds to match this value, to match this value. And you know what? Okay, your power is less. Your power is less, which means you need to have extra surplus amount of funds in order to match this value. And you know what? Okay, because the crude oil, India has very huge less crude oil. It has to import almost 87 to 88% crude oil from the foreign countries, and the crude oil imports will be always done in the US dollars. Okay, it does not ask in rupees. Get lost, they will say. They will ask only the US dollars, which means this thing, it has to match this particular thing, which means you need an extra amount of force. Okay, you need extra amount of force. What you will do to pass that extra amount of force, okay, from the lower from the ground floor to the first floor, to pass that water to the syntax, you will apply the motor. You will apply the motors, and you will apply the bores, just like this. Okay, in order to match this high value, this is a high value. USA government is at the first floor, is at the second floor, USA government means USA dollar is at the second floor, and the rupee is at the USA government is at the fifth floor or a 10th floor, and the fifth floor, think. Okay, and the USA and Indian government is at the 0th floor, which means ground floor. They have to reach from 0 to 5, means they need extra amount of surplus electricity, that is what, so that they can reach the fifth floor, that water, so that they can deposit there and they get what they want, which means which means they have to shell out extra amount of rupees, Indian rupees, in order to get those crude oil. And they are not going to, and they are also going to export. But imports is greater than export, which means there's a trade deficit. There's a trade deficit. Means you are losing out money because you have currency devalued. And okay, and these people exports, and you are not going to export a huge number because you have to retain the natural resources, which means you are going to export very less, which means the currency funds which are at the fifth floor, they are going to just drop out few pennies and they are going to get everything because they have that power. They will shell out very less funds because they have higher currencies. You need to understand, currency is different, funds is different. Currency means what is the strength of that particular transaction thing, which is having that particular value designated to one particular country. That is the power. How much is the power of your currency? And what is the funds? How much funds you are paying? It multiplies currency into this, and then it will be extra, the value will be matched, and then that value should be matched from the both countries. Both the countries should be matching. Both the countries should be matching. There will be an equal, just like a seesaw. If you go to the general store, vegetable store, if they are using some old methods, what they will do, takkadi means ನ್ಯಾಯಬೆಲೆ ಅಂಗಡಿ takkadi. Weight lift, weighing machine, that weighing machine, they will put them, they will put what, they will put one huge amount of stone, which is having 1 kg written on it. They will pass it and they will see your products, how much it is weighing on the right side. They have to balance it. They will see this is the happening. When it is happening, yes, it is the reason. Yes, it's the reason that one is that both of them, they are weighing right. That is how they measure it. This is the same thing. That same thing applies here. The currency power which is going to be very high. The currency power which is going to be very high. The currency power which is going to be very high, and the currency power which is going to be very low. The currency power which is going to be very low, in order to reach the highest power, it needs to shell out more number of funds in order to get that particular crude oil. Which means if your currency is being devalued, it is going to be devalued, then you have to pay extra to get that particular thing. On the top of that, these people will charge the tax upon that. Means they will pass out the entire cost upon our bloody shoulders. That's the reason you are paying 102 INR for 1 liter of petrol inside India. Congratulations. Now you understood. This is the third thing. Second is the US. Second thing is the treasury bonds. Now first, Indian banks, they are directly giving it to the Swiss banks for their collecting interest. They are collecting it indirectly. Everything happens indirectly. I'm telling you. Everything happens indirectly, but I am talking directly. Indian central banks, they have given the money, or Indian government have given money directly to Swiss banks. They have collected the interest because by collecting the loans. And at the same point of time, Swiss government is collecting the taxes on every salary. On every salary. Because on every salary. On every salary, because that funds are coming and falling, and you know what, the government is going for employment opportunities. And when the government goes for the employment opportunities, when the Swiss banks go for when the Swiss governments go for employment opportunities, then only the salaries will be taxed, and the salary certificates will be submitted to the Swiss banks. And the Swiss banks, they are going to give out the interest. Then they are going to give out the loans, and they are going to collect the interest. And this guys, this guys, who are this particular risk section, because the loans will be utilized for that. Why the loans? Why they have taken the loans? To buy something which is precious, which is costly. Congratulations, rich guys. They are becoming richer because they are getting the profit from that particular loan. That loan amount goes to the rich man's account, which means the rich man is getting profit. The rich man sections of the Swiss banks are getting, Switzerland is getting profit. So congratulations, which means again that those goods and commodities will have tax. That tax will be collected by the Swiss government, which means Done. Dusted. The Swiss banks means Indian central banks, they have devalued the Indian banks, the Indian government, they have devalued our own currencies by valuating the other banks, the other government, Switzerland banks currency. That is the reason we are here. And Indian government, it is paying out the USA government by is buying the bills, means it is paying out. It means it has to pay out the USA government. USA government will not issue the treasury bonds for free to the Indian government. You have to pay it. Means you have to pay. You have paid almost some $240 billion, 230 to $240 billion to USA, which means USA is giving some coupon interest. That coupon interest is very less, and you are not, okay. And at the same point of time, you are telling that we can and that treasury bonds are safe. Yes, it is safe. But to maintain the bilateral relations, you are not going to withdraw that thing. You are going to withdraw some 5 or 10, or you are going to decrease year by year. But year by year, inflation is also going to rise higher, right? Useless fellows. Which means you know everything. You know everything what is going to happen, but you want our money only. You want our money only. You want what the money which should be used for us, that is being used for Switzerland purposes. What the money should be used for us, that is used for US's development. Means the USA government treasury bonds which will be used for the US's public infrastructure and development, which means our money is being used for US's public infrastructure and development, and they are giving out interest, and that interest you are corrupting 60%. Means that is goes for corruption, 50 to 60, including everything, because here every engineer will hit, here every commissioner, means we are getting 40%. And on the top of that, imports and exports. Even though the currency devaluations, yes, you are going to shell out more funds to get that particular you know what, that is oil. And you are going to lessen our you are going to pass the burden on us, because those will have tariffs attached, those will have custom duties attached. Finish, done. All those, because when currency devaluation happens, the effect of tariffs and effect of this thing, everything is going to be passed on to us only. These are only 3. See, I will talk about the big things, because no one can escape me. Because even the big governments only, they can't escape me. Because see, right now, this is and the Indian government buys the too much weapons, which they are never going to use it in the first place, because India is a peaceful nation. Then why you are buying the weapons then? If India is a peaceful nation, then why you are buying the weapons, artillery shells, nuclear weapons? You have done everything, and you can't provide the security to our own people, because our people in Pahalgama are getting killed because of you. Many people are killed, almost 15 to 20. What about them? 20, I don't know the number, but they are killed, and you are giving some useless compensations. Are you going to get their lives back? No, you are not going to get their lives back. And on the top of that, you are going to play 4 to 5. After 4 to 5 months, you are going to play against their players, against their country, and shaking and implementing no shake hand policy. That too, because the media is going to capture that, and behind the scenes, behind the dressing rooms, you are going to shaking hand smiles. Shame on everyone. Shame on BCCI, shame on everyone who has participated in that particular event, and shame on Indian government too, because they have gone for revenue. Means they have mixed the blood with the money. That's the blood money. Finish. Now, this is treasury bonds, imports greater than exports, corruption. Now I have to talk about corruption. Indian government is giving for the Indian government is giving for here Switzerland, because Indian government is passing here this almost some 40% some 40 to 45% whatever they are going to eat it commission, that is going to here, and some 15% it goes for inside, that is inside. Okay, what is inside, why it is inside? Okay, engineers, junior engineers, senior executive engineers, everyone is going to eat. Even sometimes DC is going to eat, I don't know. Okay, if the DC is going to be honest, well and good. If the DC is not honest, yes, again. And the municipality corporations, is, because everyone wants their flesh, everyone wants their piece of meat, because they have to eat it. Okay, forget about this. Now I'm talking about the corruption. The most important thing is the corruption. I am not covered that. Okay, the corruption means no funds, because all the funds, okay, 60% funds gone, 50-60% funds corrupted, finish. 40, okay, approximately on an average, because they have to show out 40%. Why they have to do the development of 40%? Why? Tell me. If they don't do it, people will come with the chappals only. People will come with the chappals and the slippers and the sandals. They are going to throw the molotovs. They are going to burn them, because the ministers, they know all these things. Okay, because they have to do these things. So which means the governments, they need to show some roads, they need to show some electrical street lights, they need to show some street lights, they need to show some dams, they need to show some bridges, they need to show some flyovers, they need to show some petropolitan, they need to show some electricity, water supply, and the people will say development. Brothers and sisters, you have been, you are completely down, because those are basic amenities. If those basic amenities they are not going to provide you, then that is not called as a development. Okay, because the development means human development index is the most important thing. How a human, what is the measure, what is the greatest measure? Okay, how the human feels inside one particular nation, that is measured by human development index. How the human has been developed in that particular land, how he is feels secured around him, how he feels around, how he feels about infrastructure, how he feels about healthcare, how he feels about industries, how he feels about everything, how his development happens from these schools, colleges, universities, factories, industries. Okay, healthcare, education sector, healthcare, energy sector, telecom sector, all these sectors. Okay, all these sectors. Okay, and the man is at the central point. All these sectors, how they are going to play a huge pivotal role in the development of one particular individual within that particular land. That is the most important. Okay, but they are not going to have this, because you know what, okay, you know what, this thing is the most important thing. Because if you don't know the important things, okay, because you need to know important things inside your life, but you're not knowing the okay, and they are concentrating on the users GDP. We are the fourth largest GDP, we are not talking. Then talk about human development index, then talk about the environmental index, where you are at last. Talk about the global hunger index, talk about that. Talk about the press freedom, talk about that. Talk about the passport index, talk about that. Because no one wants to come out India. Because what is the meaning of passport index? Means how much people want the passport of India. Through the passport only they are going to come to India. They are not going to be illegally immigrated. Means they have to come to India, means they want to see India and Indian culture, Indian tradition. And what they want to see? The garbage. What they want to see? The waste dumped everywhere. What they want to see? The drainage system, the useless drainage systems, which is going to produce a smell. What they want to see? The villages which have a bad smell, because the drainage system is not correctly there, and load shedding problems are there. Again, and the villages have not some of the most basic facilities they have. Because of these things, they have to come to India, and they have to see the beauty of India. Yes, they will come and see the beauty of India. They will come to Taj Mahal and they will click the photo and they will get lost to their own houses. And they will sit on the aeroplanes, and they will say, "Poor India, poor India." That is what it is. What it is. Now, when all these things are there, okay, then what will happen? This is the corruption. Okay, because of this, corruption happens. Now 60% of the funds is gone. Now 60% of the funds is gone. Now, okay, now 60% of the funds is gone. Okay, because no funds is there. No funds means no employment opportunities. Because using those funds only employment opportunities can be there. Because I have come in another sector, because they can print more cash and give it to the people. Okay, you have to go through with that. Okay. Okay, no employment opportunities. No employment opportunities means no salaries. No salaries means no tax collected. No tax. Okay, using these salaries, using the salary only you can go for. Okay, using this salaries only you can go for what? Salary certificates. You can go for loans. Okay, to get the interest. Okay, to get the goods and services whatever you want, because you have to pay the loan with the interest. Okay, step by step, step right up each and every single month. So no salaries. Okay, no salaries means no tax collected, because every single salary is going to have a tax collected. Okay, and no salaries means no loan taken, and no loan taken means by showing the salary certificate, because no, okay, no goods and commodities and no services, okay, for the people who are unemployed, and no further employment opportunities, because if in these taxation systems will lead to the further employment opportunities, that is no further employment opportunities created, and this no further employment opportunities created, then no salaries will be given to them, again no tax will be collected. Okay, this thing will be no, this thing will be no, and at the same point of this time will be no, which means, and this first step itself is no, which they say like this, they show like this, they show like this. Okay, and your stars, your stars, big stars, they will show you like this. बोलो जुबान केसरी, कदम करके कदमों कदमों में क्या बोलते उसको, केसर का रंग, हाँ ठीक है, हाँ वो छोड़ो. Your stars will show you like this, your stars will show you like this, and your ministers will show you like this, and the development will be happening like this, because you follow these two people, which means you can't even understand what is happening inside India, and you are being completely traumatized, completely scared what is happening with you next day of your lifetime, whether you are going to get the, okay, whether you are going to retain the job, whether you are going to lose the job, whether you are going to feed your children for the rest of their life, okay, for that lifetime, until their marriage is happening, until they get their job, okay, until they get finish the degree. Are you going to first able to pay the salaries, and are you going to first able to pay the fees is not fixed inside your mind. That's what India is. That's the word happiness index. The word happiness index is also completely down, greater than 100, means we are completely down. And these useless bastards, they are telling the GDP, GDP, GDP. Fuck your GDP, man. I don't care about your GDP anymore, because GDP means the sum of the goods and services which is produced inside the country. That is okay. 1 point. Okay, that is 4.3 trillion economy. You are saying it. Okay, well and good. Then what about the population? Then 1.46 billion population means 146 crore people live inside India. It's not Switzerland. It's not Singapore. It's not USA. It's not Ireland, where some section of the people live. Which means you have 32 lakh square kilometer, having the population density of almost 488 people per square kilometer, having 3 times less land than China, but you are having the same population as China. You are buying the weapons, even though you are not doing any war, you are not able to protect the people inside your land. And on the top of that, the RBI is indirectly sending the money to Swiss for the development of Swiss through its ministers, because the ministers will send that money, because they get the commission. They can't keep it here. It is not safe. On the top of that, you are investing in the treasury bonds. On the top of that, you are investing in treasury bonds. and giving it for US's development, and you are collecting the coupons, and you are not, and that too you are corrupting, and only 40% is used. Here the first step itself is wrong. Corruption itself is the biggest anaconda. It's the biggest giant anaconda. You know what? No funds. Corruption means no funds. Everything goes there. No funds means no salaries, no employment opportunities. Okay, through the efficient taxation systems and efficient revenue producing assets, and those in those revenue producing assets, okay, employ these people, employing the people inside those revenue producing assets like the schools, colleges, universities, factories, industries, healthcare, medical services, and at the same point of time, okay, you know what, everything, okay, and collecting what? Collecting totally what you are collecting. You are collecting what? You are collecting something. You know what? You are collecting something. What is that? Tell me what you are collecting. You are collecting something, tax, right? Even though you have not given anything, even though you are corrupting, you are demanding that high taxation systems from us. Okay, GST we have to pay like a good boy. Okay, well and good. We have to pay. Even though we don't have employment opportunities, even the people don't have employment opportunities, we have to pay what? We have to pay the high taxation systems imposed by you guys. Okay, then we don't have any funds. Okay, because we don't have any funds, because you have corrupted every fund and kept it in the Switzerland. The Switzerland is developing because of us, and they have to pay out something to us. They are also not paying it to us. Okay, well and good. No funds, no funds, no employment opportunities. No employment opportunities means no salaries. No salaries means no tax collected, because tax will be there, that will be cut. And the 401k, that is pension funds, for the PF will be cutting it, and for that KGIDs, okay, that ID, okay, depend upon the government, it is going to be cut. Means salary is going to be taxed, which means that is going to be for the further efficient taxation systems. And using the salaries, you will be submitting those salary certificates inside the banks, and you are getting some loans out there to, okay, which you have to pay with the interest. When you have to pay with the interest, that the bank will be getting the profit in the form of interest, because their entire things will be lying on debt, as I explained it in one of the videos. You can go with that. So the loan taken by showing means the loan is, okay, because the loan is taken and it is repaid. And using the loans, where you are going to go? You are going to do some bhajans out there? No, you're going to play some ping pongs, ding dongs, stone pepper scissor. You're going to play? No, you're not going to play. What you're going to do? You're going to the store, and you are going to buy some of the goods and services which you like the fridges, TVs, washing machines, mixers, grinders, okay, smartphones, electric smartphones, okay, and the iPhones, right? Okay, etc., 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 etc. As you want, okay, as you want, as you wish. Okay, well and good. But right now, here is the thing. No loan taken by showing this. Okay, now because of all these things, nothing is there, because no, because every single thing is corrupted. Now no employment opportunities, means the first step itself is wrong. When the first step itself is wrong, then the funds are not being deposited inside the treasury. The funds are not being deposited inside the treasury by the citizens of that particular land, means that is India. The funds are not being deposited inside the government treasury by the Indians. How? Because they have to deposit that thing through the taxes. That salaries are taxed, as well as that thing is, that is, yes. And the banks, they need to collect the interest. And when this thing happens, the funds of the same currency gets deposited again and again and again and again. The funds of the same currency, that is funds means how much number you have, how much money you have. And the currency means which currency, rupees or USDs, means rupees. How much rupees and how much funds you have inside that particular government treasury, how much you are, depositing it again and 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 again in that particular government treasury. And at the same point of time, you are depositing inside the You are depositing inside the, okay, what you say, okay, the government, okay, what you say, okay, inside the banks through the interest, that will boost, that will surplusly boost the currency power of that particular nation, through which the currency power gets increased. Because, okay, because the banks should collect the interest, and the government should collect the taxes. Okay, that's well and good. Now the loans which is going to give it to the rich man, the rich man is going to keep that money. The rich man is not going to pay out his taxes, because he will never accept the salary in the form of what, a number, because that number is going to be registered in his name, and that reason he has to pay to the taxes. He wants to accept the salaries in the form of stocks, and he wants to get out because the stocks are not taxed, because it is because the stocks are not taxed until it is liquidated or sold out, or okay, because it's an unrealized gain, right? Which means the stocks are not taxable, because it can go up and it can go down. So that's the reason it becomes unrealized gain, right? It is subjected to market fluctuations. So what will happen? Tell me, what will happen? The rich man is not able to pay the tax then, because he wants to dodge the tax. He will give out the interest, because he will give out the interest to the banks. He will give out the interest because using the buy borrow die method. Okay, he will borrow the stock. He will drain the bank by taking the overwhelming loans, and he will build out the assets. He will build out the assets, and he will take out the revenue from all. He will give out the droplets of money. He will give out the droplets of blood to every single one in order to sustain their lives for the next 30 days. That is called a salary. That is a dose after 720 hours. And he is going to pass out some money to the banks, some blood to the banks, some extra blood to the banks, okay, to the banks as the interest, in order to maintain his credit score and equity ratio. Well and good. And then the remaining money is going to deposit not in India. Again it goes to LLCs. Offshore, Swiss, JP Morgan, Citibank, Goldman Sachs. Okay, just remember the song. Okay, just remember the song. That money goes to LLCs offshore. That money goes to LLCs offshore Swiss banks. That money goes to LLCs offshore Swiss banks. And at the same point of time, it goes for, okay, JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and you know what? The Citibank. Okay. Yes, it goes everywhere. Because it has to be deposited in other countries only. Then only it is safe for them. And by doing that thing, okay, what they are doing it, again I said, okay, again whatever I applied it for Swiss banks, applied for other banks, means USA, other Netherlands, okay, all these Dutch banks, in England also it is deposited. Okay, which means the Indian billionaires, they are giving out the money, they are depositing the money not in India by giving out the tax perfectly, and they are not depositing the money inside India, they are depositing somewhere else, and those banks, they are going to give out the loans to their countrymen. Their countrymen will pay the interest back to them. Okay, they will pay the interest back to them. And at the same point of time, those loans will be used for buying out the goods and commodities within their country, means in their foreign country. They will go buy this, okay, this USB cables, they will buy some TVs, okay, again those goods and commodities, TVs, fridges, whatever I mentioned, they will buy out that, and they will pay the tax to that particular government on the here. So when they will pay the taxes to that particular government here, which means they are paying on every single goods and commodities, they are paying out the taxes. And then how they are going to get employed, how they are going to get the loan, because they are employed, means they have already paid the taxes. The government has cut the taxes from their salaries. Finish, done. Which means Indian billionaires, Indian ministers, they are paying not for the development of ourselves. Indian ministers, Indian billionaires, Indian rich billionaires, Indian ministers, they are not paying for the development of ours. They are paying for the development of other nations. Congratulations, because you have made them bigger, better, larger, greater, and you are saying like, okay, you have done some great thing by worshipping them. Completely good, well and good. Be happy. Okay. Now what? Now the taxes. Now the share market comes. See, okay, if I go on telling about the government, what government does behind the scenes, okay, you'll sit and cry for the rest of your lifetime. You'll sit and cry for the rest of your lifetime. Okay, the blood will come. The blood will come from your eyes. The blood will come from your ears, eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. And you'll burn yourself that you are born in India. Okay, and you have the right to burn. First of all, you should feel pain. Okay, and if you by hearing all these things, if you are not getting pinched, then you are useless fellows. That much I can tell it. And you don't deserve yourself to be called as an Indian. And you are some alien who has taken birth inside India. Completely, you know what? Now it's very important to understand the problems. The problems, I have told some 4 to 5 problems, but the problems don't end here. Why the problems don't end here? Because your problems will begin here. These are just outside things. Whatever I said just right now, it's outside things. It's linked to the outside things. Okay, let me stop it here. Okay, because I have to show you this is outside. Happens outside. Treasury bonds happens outside. The rich man giving out, keeping the bank accounts inside the shores, every single thing happens outside. Happens outside. Every single thing happens outside. Okay, Swiss banks means the RBI directly giving the money to Swiss banks. Okay, means through the ministers. Means ministers they take the commission and they pass it. Means they will keep it on their name. That is corruption. Treasury bonds, USA means USA people will develop. Rich man's billionaires, black money, dodged money, okay, tax evaded money that goes into LLCs, which means that is our money. That goes for their development because they will pay the taxes, they will pay the loans, interest, and they will make their rich money, their rich man's profit they will do it, which means their currency is getting stronger and our currency is getting weaker. Means all the serpents are there at the top pyramid, the top of the pyramid of the matrix, who are going to do all these things, and because nobody is going to say them everything. So right now I'm asking everyone what you want. What you want. Tell me what you want. Okay, because you need to tell me what you want. Because if you don't tell me what you want right now, because anyway I'm canceling Indian citizenship. I don't care about okay being here because I know only one thing. Either because you have to do everything you can because if you know everything then why you are staying, because I don't need, I hate the concept of government itself. The concept of government, it is somewhat concerning. It's very concerning, and you need to understand yourself what you are doing. But if you don't understand anything which I have told, then you are biggest loser. You need to understand this man stands for you, this man works for you, this man cares about you, this man thinks about you. That's the reason I'm doing everything I can, because these things no one will do, because this is a side project. This started as a side project. and later it became main project of my life. I left everything. I left every single thing what I am chasing. I left the bank exams. Interest on bank exams vanished when I know about the reality of the banks. Because if this is a thing what the banks they do to you as well as me, okay, forget about these things. The central banks, the public sector banks like SBI, Canara, central central banks of India, all these big boys, they think that हिंदुस्तान जो है नहीं बाप का जागीर है और लोग जो है नहीं गधे की तरह काम करते हैं, कुत्ते की तरह, जहाँ पे कोई भी किसी को सवाल नहीं पूछ सकता, कोई बवाल नहीं कर सकता, कोई जितना भी चाहे कैश को प्रिंट किया जा सकता है और करेंसी को डिवेल्यूट किया जा सकता है. हर एक करेंसी जो वैल्यूएट होता है, हर एक करेंसी जो भी वैल्यूएट होता है, जो भी कैश प्रिंट होता है ज़्यादा, वो कैश हमेशा क्या होता है, the cash which is going to be printed, that is going to lose its value, and that is going to give you pierce that red blooded knife into your eyes. Okay, that's the reason you need to understand all these things, because if you don't understand this thing what I am saying, then you are a biggest loser, because you need to understand this entire thing depends upon your welfare. So that's the reason. So that's the reason. Okay, because this happens, whatever happens outside the country, whatever the scams happen outside the country, whatever the things happens outside the country, I have told it to you right now. Because if you don't understand these things, okay, if you don't understand this all things, if you don't understand all these things, why I am doing this? Because I am saying this because those persons sit in this chair. Those persons sit inside this chair. Whoever is ruling you, those persons sit inside this particular chair. Who sit inside this particular thing? Yes. And they think like this because there is some man who is standing ahead at height and he is seeing what these people are doing. This is what happens outside. This is what happens outside. Means outside flow is this. It's outside flow of money. But now I will show in the next video I will show the inside flow of money. How much snakes are there? This is the snakes which bites your development, your growth, not mine. Okay, and our development, our growth. And I don't want to live in such a place which bites our people's own development and our growth. Okay, and our people's own employment opportunities. And the people are poor here. It's not because of India is a poor nation or something. Because of some big evil snakes, they are ruling the country. Okay, you need to understand. Okay, because of these big snakes, because of these big evil snakes, who is ruling you inside this country, and they are holding this seat called as kursi. कुर्सी प्यारा है सब लोगों के लिए. Because of this kursi, they love this kursi more than anyone else. They love this kursi and they want to sit forever, making hell of in controlling infinite supply of money. Then remember, they are there. They are sitting inside this particular seat and they are making out what? They are taking out their decisions. What they are taking the decisions? That is going to be against your interest. But they tell you that it is in the welfare of your interest. And you are going to believe them. England people have believed that, but right now they are protesting digital IDs. Nepal people have done it. Sri Lanka has done it. People of Serbia are doing it. America, one day American Revolution will happen. That is for sure. One day American Revolution will happen again and again. It will happen, don't worry, it will happen. One day people will be fed up against their own government. And here, Indians are too much fed up of their own government, but they are not going to come because everyone wants their life and wife. But okay, but these people they consider India as a lodge. These people, especially the Indians, they consider India as a lodge, not as a nation, where they pay the taxes for some 80 years and they pass the message to their offsprings, their children, that you have to pay the taxes and you have to follow the rules and regulations of the government. You have to believe in the constitution, when that same constitution has not given any single administrative right and it has made you weaker and weaker every single day. That's a fact. And the law and the judiciary, okay, the less I talk about the law and judiciary, that is going to be very good for me. Because if I open my mouth, the blood is going to be coming in front of, okay, of all the judges who are passing out the laws, of all the administration which is making the laws, who has written the rules. some some of the rules which they have done, they're completely, completely against the welfare of our people. And those rules we are following it, knowing that this thing is there. Remember, and these people they think like they are the big, but I am there standing over their kursi because I want to remove these people and I have to sit inside this kursi because I have to remove them first. Because I have to remove these people who are sitting inside this kursi and I have to sit because I have to sit. I have to sit inside this kursi and administrate for the nation, not for just one state or two state or three state. I have to administer 29 states of India. I have to administer 32 lakh square kilometer. Yeah, 32 lakh square kilometer. Yeah, India, from Jammu Kashmir to Tamil Nadu and the Gulf of Kutch to the Arunachal Pradesh. That is the aim. That is the aim you should have. That's the reason I am doing everything I can to convince you that this particular thing, okay, this is not convincing. This is just telling you straight away what is happening behind the scenes. This is what happens outside the country. Now in the next video, I will tell you what happens inside the country. How the funds they take out, how the funds are being taken out from your own set of people. Means you have been paying. It's just like a water can. It's just like a water can, and there is a hole inside it. And because of that hole called as a corruption, bribery, everything. That water can's name is Development of India. Development of Indian people, their life, so that they can lead a very good life, prosperous life, flourishing life, thriving life, rather than surviving life. They're just surviving, and they're making and the government is making it difficult for them to make their ends meet. Yes, exactly. By collecting the equal number of taxes from the same set of people who are having different incomes. That's wrong. For the rich, you have to pay out completely high taxes. You have to charge completely high taxes. You have to charge, not 100%. Some 250% you have to charge the tax. And for the poor people, you have to charge some 3 to 4% or 2%, or else 1.5 to 2%. That is what you have to do, because you have to drain the wealth. You have to drain the wealth. You have to drain the wealth and distribute the wealth for the development, infrastructure, development, healthcare, education, everything. You have to do it, and on the top of that, you have to provide them free services. Every single thing you have to do, but nobody has the guts to do it, because the rich man fills the pockets of both the parties because he wants to stay safe. The Ambanis, the Adanis, Murmus, Mittas, yeah, they are all the same. They are not on your side. They are on the big side, the big boys. Always. Okay, Damani, okay, Radha Krishnan Damani, okay, all these things, all these people, they are not on your side. Don't think that they are on your side. Okay, are they giving you money, free money? No, you are employing, and okay, they are employing you, and they're giving out the money. Simple. They are not innovators. Steel is not invented by them. Iron is not invented by them. or else anything is they are not innovators. No one is innovator inside India. No any billionaires, they are innovators inside India. Everyone is an investor. Okay, you need you need innovators. You need innovators. You need innovators. Okay, who will develop the apps, who will upgrade the apps, who will bring the revenue from other governments to their governments, to from the other governments to our governments, who has the capacity to build that thing. They are going to be called as innovators. Musk, Elon Musk, Twitter. Elon Musk, Tesla. Elon Musk, Tesla. Elon Musk, yeah, Starlink. Because he's bringing all these revenues from other countries to USA government. That's the reason USA government, yeah, worships him. Even though sometimes he is against them and sometimes he talks in favor of them and sometimes he talks against them. But they can't remove the Musk. I know that. Okay, they can't remove Elon Musk. Yeah. Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Google. Okay, yes. Yeah. Don't say that Sundar Pichai is the CEO because their bank accounts, it's a war of bank accounts. The bank accounts are there in which country? Their bank accounts are there in which country, and the banks are giving the loans to which set of people? That is very, very important. Okay, don't say top 10% Indians are there in India. Be proud. Yeah, forget about the being proud. It's about revenue. Okay, to all those useless fellows, to all those useless bastards, they are telling that okay, be proud, be proud. Okay, don't be proud because they are used, their bank accounts are there in their country, not in our country. And their employees, okay, their employees, okay, their employees bank accounts, they are in their country, they are not in our country. That's the reason. Okay, you should never be proud of anyone because okay, when you can be proud, when they have been doing the development of ours. Don't be proud of any Satyanadilla or any Sundar Pichai or anyone. No one. You should not be proud of anyone. Because you have to ask the toughest questions. Where their bank accounts are there. Yes, inside there. Who's develop, okay, from their bank accounts, fractionalized banking systems. Who are getting the loans? Their people are getting the loans. Who is paying the taxes to their government? Okay, the American government is getting the taxes. The American rich man is getting the stronger because he is getting the profit from the loans. What is taken by the common man of America. Finish. That is how you understand yourself. You have to draw the triangle. You have to draw the triangle. You have to pin centroid is the common man. Then where the money is flowing, how the money is flowing, okay, who is taking the money, who is collecting, who is paying the taxes, and how much he is paying the taxes. You need to understand every single thing. But if you don't understand anything, you get lost. Economics is not for you. So that's the reason you need to understand how I can bring the revenue from other countries, how I can pump the euros, dollars, Swiss francs, Kuwaitian dinars, Bahrain dinars, okay, okay, the dirhams, okay, all these things, the Saudi Arabian dirhams or UAE dirhams, how we can bring those, how we can bring those currencies from there to here, from there to here. That is how you think as an individual. To have to sit and think how to be. So that's the reason someone who has this knowledge, he has to sit in the chair. He has to remove all the snakes. Okay, who is sitting inside the chair and he has to remove them and he has to sit. And who is going to make them sit? Yes, you people. It's your decision, not anyone's decision. Okay, otherwise I'm going to cancel the Indian citizenship. I don't care about the okay. See, I remember. Okay, I don't have any huge greed that I have to sit on the chair. Remember. This is a chair, means I'm a dictator. Okay, means I'm a dictator, monarchical. But okay, if it is not possible, I'm ready to sit on the ground only. I'm ready to sit on the ground. And what is the ground? That is a civilian. Praja. Civilian. Yes, I can do it. Because I have talent. I can explore the things. The thing is, the number inside the bank account is not going to decide your destiny. The number inside the bank account is not going to decide your destiny. It will not tell you the true picture, how much you are capable, how much you are skilled, how much you are talented, how much you are crafted. Okay, to whom you are married, how much beautiful women you are married. Okay, that is not going to tell you the entire story. Either sit on the chair, or else sit on the ground. When you sit on the chair or you sit on the ground, okay, when you sit on the chair, when you sit on the chair, or the ground, okay, you need to make sure that you serve the people who have made you to sit on the chair in a right way. That is what you need to do. Okay, but because if you don't have that common sense, okay, because most of the leaders of the netas whom you have appointed, they don't have the common sense. They don't have that, okay, simple common sense. Because of that thing, I'm making this thing. I'm announcing myself as a dictator of India. Finish right now. I'm announcing. Okay, it's up to you to consider that. Otherwise, okay, give me what? Okay, okay, I will lose the citizenship of India. I will lose the citizenship of India because I don't want to pay the taxes to him. And that is going to be biggest shame for both Indian government and the Indian people. Both. The reason is why Indian people, because they are not supported me. And why the Indian government? Yeah, because that is the first time. Okay, someone has cancelled their citizenship. Yes, someone has to cancel the citizenship in order to show you that you are useless fellows. Someone has to cancel the citizenship to show you an anger, to send a message that Indian government is one of the most useless governments in the history of the world. That's the reason I have to cancel the Indian citizenship. I have to go somewhere else because it is not possible. I will work hard. Someone will collect the tax and they will, okay, then they will use for some refunds and I don't question it. I don't want that particular shit. Why? I have the right. I have the right because it's my destiny. Okay, then who the hell are you to decide my own destiny? Even the God cannot decide my own destiny. Okay, even the God cannot decide my own destiny. Even these parents cannot decide my own destiny. I do what I like. I do what I like. And that's the reason I don't want this. देखिए, बेलपूरी पानी पूरी कचौरी के चक्कर में मैं अपनी ज़िंदगी बर्बाद नहीं कर सकता यहाँ पे. बस फ़र्क इतना है कि इस ज़बान की लालच की वजह से यहाँ पे पड़ा हूँ मैं कुत्ते की तरह. लेकिन मैं कुत्ता नहीं हूँ, मैं टैलेंटेड आदमी हूँ, मैं जानता हूँ. लेकिन काम करूँगा तो घूमने के लिए काम करूँगा मैं. दुनिया को घूमने के लिए, हाँ ठीक है, दुनिया को घूमने के लिए डॉलर्स चाहिए, दुनिया को घूमने के लिए यूरोस चाहिए, दुनिया को घूमने के लिए स्विस फ्रैंक्स चाहिए, दुनिया को घूमने के लिए कुवैती दिनार चाहिए. क्योंकि तुम लोग घंटा so much tensions inside the house because of wealth. That wealth is going to be there inside the word rupees or dollars, and I don't want those. Okay, I don't want those rupees anymore. Okay, I hate rupees. I started hating rupees because it is written rupees, and that rupees is going where? It is going where? Someone is working hard. Someone is working hard, and someone is getting the profit. Everybody is not getting the fruits of labor, and I don't want to live in this shell, live in this prison. India is becoming, okay, India is a prison, okay, with some physical independence called as walking, talking, everything. That's it. India is a physical prison that you can't go out because you have to shell out more money, but you don't have that much money to go, okay, roam the world. Finish, done, dusted, done. That when you will see the entire world after you die, and you cry, you're okay. Everyone is going to cry, okay, and then you are going to cry. That's the reason I'm stopping everything and I'm saying this has to end. This has to end. This will end. My life, I will dedicate my life, entire work to other government, not Indian government. I will not pay the tax to an Indian government. Indian government has no eligibility to call itself as one of the, okay, great nations. It is not a great nation. It's a corrupt nation. It's an illusion nation. It's an illusion nation. The other governments, they respect it because it has 32 lakh square kilometer land. It has great natural resources. It has great minerals. It has great spices. That's the reason Britishers came here. That's the reason. If you don't understand it, fools, then you are not going to be called as an from JK, Jammu Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, and from Gulf of Kutch to the Arunachal Pradesh. What is going to happen? 32 lakh square kilometer is there. 32 lakh square kilometer is there. which means in each and every single square kilometer, 488 people are there. 488 to 500, which means almost 1.46 billion people are there. Which means if this country cannot afford corruption, having three times less land than China, which means, but having three times less land than China, but having the exact population, almost having exact population than China, equal to China, which means the Chinese people the China have almost 130 people per square kilometer. If you compare the markets where the population is centered, then Indian markets are completely dense compared to the Chinese markets. Finish. Even though they have the same population, don't say that they have the same population. Okay, China is developing. They have three times more land. They have occupied three times more land. How much is the land of China? 90, I think 90 or 91 or 92, I think, or some 89. Okay, I don't know about that, but it is almost in between some. Okay, 90, I think 90. Okay, 90 lakh square kilometer. But India is 32, which means it is almost three times less land than the China. But it has the same population of that China, which makes the population density to be completely higher. And these corrupt snakes, they are going to hiss each and every single day, hiss each and every single day, and they are going to take our blood. And they are, if they are not going to get our blood, they are going to spread out the venom. They are going to hiss, and they are going to venom. They are going to spread the venom. They are going to cheek out the venom. And that's the reason I am fed up of these snakes. I cannot argue with these snakes. I have to eliminate them, because the people who are giving the blood to them, the ritual sacrifice of the blood, whatever they are doing it. Okay, if they don't stand for me, okay, well and good. I don't care. I will cancel the Indian citizenship only. Who wants the drama here? Protest will not make any difference. Don't go for protest. Protests are useless. Protests are the most important thing is the useless thing. I have to cancel the Indian citizenship. Okay, I have to cancel the Indian citizenship, and I have to. Yeah. And these people, they are holding out everything. These people are giving us everything to follow these rules, and regulations. They are giving it. And okay, these are useless because this does not generate the revenue. Okay, these people does not generate the revenue. But you know what? These things they will give it to us to follow everything. They will give them ATM. They will give some ATM to shell out money. Okay, they will give out some. You know what? Okay, what is this? Indian motor driving license. They will give it. Okay. They will give out some Election Commission of India. Okay, Election Commission of India, they will give out some these things. Okay, and this thing. And they will give out some Aadhaar cards. Take it. And they will give out this one. Nanna Aadhaar, Nanna Gurut. Mera Aadhaar, Mera Hak. They will give these things in order to keep you inside India, because you have to work for them. And these people, they get richer and richer. They will make the poor man richer and richer. And these people will give all these things. Let us do it again. Let us do it again. Because let us do it again. Let us do this. Again, to the Indian government. ओके, मुंह पे मारूंगा इंडियन गवर्नमेंट को, मैं सीधा बोलता हूँ. इतना गुस्सा चढ़ा के रखा है इन लोगों ने, ठीक है, जहाँ पे कोई अकाउंटेबिलिटी नहीं, कोई ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं, ठीक है. और ये लोग हमको ये देते हैं, जब ये लोग ऐसे नोट छापते रहते हैं हम लोगों की मेहनत से ये लोग, ठीक है, समझो कि ये नोट है, ऐसे नोट छापते रहते हैं वो लोग. हाँ, जब ये लोग अपने नोट छापते रहते और हम लोग गधे की तरह ये पकड़ते रहते अपने वॉलेट में, ये सोचते हुए कि हमारा वॉलेट भरेगा, लेकिन हमारा वॉलेट जो है ना ख़त्म ही होगा। यहाँ पे कोई कुछ बचेगा नहीं, कुछ बचेगा ही नहीं। क्या घंटा बचेगा? कुछ नहीं बचेगा। सी आउट ऑल दिस थिंग्स, सी आउट ऑल दिस थिंग्स। 20 रुपीज़ आ गए, 20 रुपीज़ इनसाइड माई पॉकेट। I don't want this rupees anymore. Why? If I have to earn, I have to earn something big for my life, or else I have to change everyone's destiny. That's the reason I took this risk, because I can go out. Okay, I can go out. मैं ऐसे ही बाहर नहीं जाऊँ, ठीक है? तुम लोगों के चक्कर में हम लोगों ने टैक्स भरा है तुम लोगों की मेहनत के लिए, और तुम लोगों ने करप्ट किया है अपने माल को, ठीक है? माल तुम लोग माला माल हो चुके हो, बर के अंदर रखे हो माल को, ठीक है? और हम लोगों के लिए वो पैसा खोल नहीं रहे हो, हाँ? और यहाँ पे बोका बंदा तुम लोगों के चक्कर में मर रहा है, हाँ? समझ शर्म नहीं आती तुम लोगों को ये सब कुछ करते हुए? मैं सीधा बोलता हूँ, मैं किसी का बाप के ऊपर या माँ के ऊपर तरस नहीं करता, मैं अपने मातृभूमि के भी ऊपर तरस नहीं करता मैं अभी। और किसी फूड आइटम्स के ऊपर रहम खाना तो दूर की बात है, ठीक है? कुछ मुश्किल होगा 6 महीना 7 महीना 8 महीना मुश्किल होगा, लेकिन एक बार एडजस्ट हो जाए ख़त्म, उसके बाद मैं पीछे मुड़ के देखूंगा भी नहीं। एडजस्ट होने के लिए थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होगा, बहुत प्रॉब्लम होगा, चलेगा, लेकिन दुनिया तभी घूम सकता हूँ जब एक गवर्नमेंट जो है ना करेंसी वैल्यूएशन के लिए जाता है। करेंसी वैल्यूएशन घंटा हो रहा है, करेंसी वैल्यूएशन कैसे होता है इन लोगों को मालूम भी नहीं, ठीक है? जीडीपी क्या होता है मालूम भी नहीं, ठीक है? फिर भी बीजेडी के बारे में बात करते हैं, ठीक है? फिर भी ये बात किसी ने बोला होगा इतना बड़ा होगा, और ये लोग प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये बोलते हैं कि यार इतना हो रहा है, इतना हो रहा है, इतना हो रहा है, और ऐसे ऐसे मिनिस्टर्स को लेके आते हैं और बिठाते हैं जिनको कुछ आता भी नहीं उस ABCD के बारे में, सिर्फ और सिर्फ ऐसा नोट गिनना आता है, नोट गिनना आता है, नोट गिनना आता है ऐसे, हाँ, नोट गिनना आता है। हमारे हाथों में ये तमाते हो, हमारे हाथों में ये तमाते हो, और तुम लोग, ठीक है, नोट जो है ना ऐसे पकड़ के हाय हाय कितनी गर्मी है, हाय हाय कितनी गर्मी है, हाय हाय कितनी गर्मी है, ये सब कुछ करते रहते हो, और हम लोगों का बैंड बजाते रहते हो। तो हम लोग क्या घंटा मरे क्या? क्यों? तो हम लोग क्या बम मारे? हाँ, तुम लोगों के चक्कर में मैं, ठीक है, बहुत सारे लोग बम मार रहे, ठीक है, लेकिन उनको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है। उनके फ्रस्ट्रेशन जो है नहीं वही बम है, उनके जो, ठीक है, टेंशन है, उनके जो इनसिक्योरिटी है, कल क्या होगा, कल क्या होगा, हमारा बच्चा कहाँ, ठीक है? बच्चे को पैदा करने के लिए लोग मर रहे हैं अभी, ठीक है? पैसा करे, ठीक है, शादी करे या ना करे, शादी करेगी तो, ठीक है, लड़की जो है नहीं मेंटेनेंस फीस के चक्कर में मेरा बैंड नहीं बजाएगी, पहला सवाल। दूसरा सवाल, मैं बच्चे को अच्छा, बच्चा पैदा तो दूर की बात है, कुत्ता तो पैदा कर सकता है वो, टेंशन मत लो, कुत्ता भीगी बिल्ली वो भी पैदा कर सकते हैं, डोंट वरी, ओके? इंसान तो दूर की बात है, लेकिन ये बताओ तुम उस बच्चे को ज़िंदगी हलाल करने में लगे हुए हो। इसलिए मैं बोलता हूँ बच्चे को, ठीक है, बच्चे को ये बोलने वाले हो, उसके ऊपर प्रेशर डालने वाले हो, उसके जो कोई भी, क्या बोलते हैं, कोई भी आकांक्षा, कोई भी डिज़ायर्स, कोई भी स्किल्स, क्राफ्ट, टैलेंट, innovation, modifying according to the things, okay, huge talent, that particular he or she it has, that is going to be killed by the parents only. And then they ask themselves, then they ask why India is not going to get the more number of Olympic medals, because you are the main culprits. Who is going to hang you then? You need to ask questions yourself inside this mirror first. Because of your practices, India is getting a bad name, first because of the people and then because of the government. And that's the reason Indians are not going to be respected anywhere. And because Indian government, no one respects Indian government too. No one respects Indian government. What they say behind the scenes, inside their offices, they know only one thing: to take advantage of Indian market. They know only to take advantage of Indian market. That's what Britishers did, because they have strongest diplomatic relations, just like Russia, just like China, just like USA. They will never ever bend down to anyone. They will never ever bend down to anyone. They will say, they will say like this: you are going to come against us. You, okay, if you have that particular guts among you, come against us. Yeah, we are waiting for you. Okay, but these people, even though they are buying the nuclear weapons, that those nuclear weapons are useless because they will never ever try. Then what is the use of becoming a nuclear power nation then? Finish. These people will never ever use the weapons, and these people, they don't know how to protect their own citizens. That's the reason our people are getting killed. And one day I am going to get killed because of this inefficiency in the government. They are thinking that South is safe. I am from South India. Okay, they are thinking South India is safe. Then what about the people in North India? My heart belongs out to everyone, for every single state, for every single citizen. Maybe they are male, female, maybe they are children, maybe they are elders, maybe they are uncles, aunties, everywhere. Okay, my heart belongs out to everyone because of their inefficient, because of their kamoshi, because of their wanting peace, peace, peace. Let us adjust. How much you will adjust? The time has come to the time has to come to say no more adjustment, no more adjustment, no more protest. We have to change everything. We have to change everything, and we have to write our own script, because these people are writing the scripts for our destruction. We have to write the scripts, our own scripts, for our own construction of our own life. That is what we should do. Because these people are busy in writing the scripts for our destruction, and we have to write the scripts for our construction. And if we don't do that, okay, I don't want these things. I don't want these things. Useless bastards. Okay, what they have think that okay, they are, what they have thought they are. No accountability, no transparency. For 5 years, when they say that we have choice, then what is the choice? Yes, we will hang you for 5 years. I will hang you for 5 years. Okay, every single year we are going to hang you, and then we are going to ask the questions. Okay, which party you want, so that okay, it can hang you for the next 5 years. And this is the democracy in our country, because the constitution does not give you any right, administrative right. Because the constitution is the biggest culprit right now. Constitution of India, which does not give any administrative right, and it is not asking any transparency and accountability for anyone. And those government documents, I don't believe those government documents. I don't believe the what government says. Whatever the government says, it's useless. I don't believe any governments inside the world. I don't believe any governments inside the world. But I have to, because my life is connected to the government. That's the reason I have to go to other governments in which there is a very less corruption, and they think about the people. That's the reason. Okay, I have to think about myself. I have to think about myself first. I have to think about myself. Then the people will come later, right now. But that is the first case. The second case is what? When you know all these things, your responsibility becomes bigger, and you have to ask the question in the favor of people, for the people, by the people, and of the people. That is democracy. And that too of the people of the land, for the who are living inside. Maybe they are pan shop wala, maybe they are doodh wala, maybe they are for iron shop wala, maybe they are newspapers wala, okay, maybe they are electricians, plumbers, carpenters, mechanics, okay, maybe they are engineers, doctors, teachers, and pilots, okay, and the administrative puppets of the government, because the government itself is a puppet, okay, that is IAS, IPS, everyone, the civil service are, okay, they are puppets, What the change they have done? They have taken the oath that we have done, we will do some development. They will never do development. Okay, so that's the reason. Take out your entire thing, keep it out in your pockets. I don't care about this thing, because this thing has to end, because I have to end this thing, because this chain has to end. This chain has to end, otherwise I have to, okay, remove myself from this chain, because this is a chain link. This is a chain link. This is a nuclear fission. It will never end. Okay, because these people will never ever think that this matrix will never end. Someone has to come and dodge, and okay, they have to go from upside and they have to complete axe the entire matrix, and they have to flip the matrix. That's the only way. Okay, that's the only way. Because I'm fed up by this. Okay, I'm fed up by this, fucked and sucked by the system. Okay, I'm really, really disappointed. When a man gets disappointed, then he will talk like this, because he will never ever care for anyone. Because right now I'm not caring about myself. I'm not I'm not caring about myself anymore, because every single day I'm working really hard to die, because I'm consuming a lot of oily food, and that oil is going to kill one day me, because heart can take how much it is going to take the oil. How much it is going to take the oil? It is going to take the oil very less. When it is going to take more and more oil, then I'm going to get that is going to be disaster, for me, for my health. Huh? And because of, okay, because the food is tasty, I miss the food. I miss the Indian food. Okay, well and good. Let me miss the Indian food, but I have to. I should not miss my development. I should not miss seeing the world. I can miss the Indian food. I can miss the Indian culture. I can miss the Indian traditions. I can miss the everyone. I can miss everyone. I can miss the people who are completely dear to me. I can miss the people who care about me. I can miss the people, okay, who have given the lot of, you know what, okay, pain to me by betraying me. But they have shown me the harsh realities of life. But this is what. Remember, when you lose the money, when you lose everything, when you lose the patience, when you lose the mental resilience, when you lose the physical stability and the mental stability, then you will become a monster. And this is what the monsters do. They will never ever care for anything. Right now I'm a monster right now. And this is the end. Okay, and you need to understand, I have to get out, and I have to get out, and I have to get out really fast. And when I get out really fast, then only my development will happen. Because you need to understand, when you want to be employed, I am not right now employed. That's the biggest blessing. I thought that it is a curse. That's the biggest blessing, because I have not paid any single tax to Indian government from my earning. That's the biggest blessing I have. Means right now, from my own money, I have not paid any tax to you, Indian government. And I will never ever pay any single penny to your government, because you think that you are some goddamn gods coming from heaven or hell. Okay, they have come, okay, goddamn gods from heaven, or else from, okay, you know what, some satans from the hell. And you are going to shape our life how much you want, wherever you want, whenever you want, and nobody is going to ask you a question for 5 years. And I should keep quiet, because the constitution does not give me any, what it is not going to give me, what it is not going to give me the right to ask where the money is going. The constitution does not give me a right to question the harsh things inside the administrative section, because that is not a right. And these bastards, they tell us democracy is of the people, by the people, and for the people. They get elected from us, and they don't want us to see all the details. And I don't want this system. Okay, and even though many countries are there like this, but I can go to such government, okay, where the corruption is very, very less, very, 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 very less, and completely well developed, because I can go and follow that system. Strict rules, rigid rules, okay, rigid rules, different culture. Okay, well and good. Okay, well and good. That is accepted. That is accepted. That is accepted. This man has died. This man, I used to think that this man was good. Okay. These two men, they have already dead inside India, and they were once upon a time. I think these two people, these three people, these three people, these three people, they were the most innocent guys I ever knew at one point of time. These three people, they were the most innocent people I ever knew at one point of time. But because of the harsh realities of life, because of the constant betrayals and the strict culture, strict environment, strict tradition, that is going to kill our goddamn dreams. Because we want to explore the life, we want to, okay, become what we want, but our own family betrays us, saying that this is our culture, we have to follow this culture, that culture, and it is not accepted. Okay, well and good. Then we expect, okay, then from that particular environment, then from that particular society, from that particular government, which is implementing that particular society, we expect from that government, what is that? The strict development, strict employment opportunities without any competition. Because you have given shelling out the funds to Swiss, you have been shelling the funds inside US, then those funds are not being used for us. That's the reason the currency is devaluating. And you bastards are crying that okay, we have to pay out more and more taxes and we have to shell out more money for your goddamn mistakes. And if that is the case, and I don't want this country itself, okay, yeah, pass the liquidity, because pass any liquidity, I will approve it in IMF, don't worry. Okay, pass any liquidity, I will go. But then, okay, otherwise I will destroy, okay, because I will start the private government only. Don't worry. Don't think that I am just a citizen. I'm a monster right now. Because when you know about the economics, you are a monster. Finish. You can destroy any nation, you can construct any nation. If you know the history, geography, economics, demography, statistics, fertility rates, okay, men to women ratio, how much you have to maintain. Yes, you can start your own government only. I don't need Indian government. So if you want to keep your government safe, then pass the liquidity to me in bank accounts so that I don't start the private governance here. I can start the private government only. Okay, because I know the community trust. I will consider India as a community trust. Okay, I will make a section of people. I will make the section of people. Some section of people will be there. Okay, what they will do? They will remove all the money from their bank accounts and they will settle the debt of others. When they settle the debt of others, what will happen? When nobody is going to, when all the debt is settled, because the banks operate on the debts, because they consider debts as what? Assets. Because the debt is an asset for them. When the bank has no any debt, and at the same point of time no one is going to deposit because they are going to pay the taxes to the government on every single goods and commodities. But when they don't pay any deposit, when they don't deposit the government, and then when they are going to withdraw cash, printed cash, no digital transaction will happen, no phone pay, no Google Pay will happen, because that phone pay and the Google Pay is built for this infinite fractional reserve systems. I know that the digital transactions are built for the infinite fractional reserve banking systems. That's the reason, because nobody is knowing all these things. So which means I can start my own government here. So if you want your government to be saved, so pass out the huge amount of liquidity in trillions of dollars, so that I can spare you. Because in order to spare you, I have to spare you, right? Okay, I will spare you. Pass out the trillions of dollars in one bank account. Okay, so that in my bank account, so that I can lead the life outside. if you want your governments to be saved. If you don't want that, yes, I know what to do. Because, okay, you think like, okay, there is a story of Pied Piper, I think, inside the English schools and English schools. That's a moral school, moral science stories, I think. Yeah. The Pied Piper, inside one particular section, there was a rat problem, and he was a piper. Okay, using he used to melodious that flute song. Okay, he used to there, and all the rats they used to listen to that song, and they used to went into the river. Okay, because the mayor promised him if he made that rat problem to solve, he is going to get a huge amount of fund. That is a prize. Okay, so when he went on to collect the prize, the mayor betrayed. So what he did, he did not do anything. He took every single one, every single child, and he locked the door. And that those children of many parents, they never returned back, because all of them they went on following him, and they never returned back. That is what the Pied Pipers do. When their minds get insane, when the minds get go into insanity, hmm, you want your kursi, you want you if you love your kursi, if you love your kursi, pass the liquidity to me. If no people are coming, because I'm saying this, I'm giving you options, a lot of options. I'm giving you options, too much options I have to give you. Okay, I will give you all of the options to explore. Okay, but you need to understand that I have to lead a good life, better life, thriving life, prospering life, flourishing life, not a surviving life. This surviving life, I don't want this shit. Because when the banks can print the money accounts out of thin air, they can whatever the banks they don't have the money, they can lend it out and they can charge the interest, and they can kill our blood. And the big boys they can, okay, through the stock borrow method they can okay, use their stocks to betray us in the form of buy borrow die method. The governments they can print the extra amount of cash, and then they can devalue every single currency. And then when they, okay, and when they cry in front of us that there is a currency devaluation, but for first, who is going to hang the government then? Then who is going to hang the central banks then? Who is going to hang the central banks? Who is going to hang the governments? Who is going to hang the rich man? Who is going to hang the public sector banks? Because they work for the collateral, they work for the real estate. And the man who is born in a poor family is not going to have the asset. You know that. He depends upon the salary. Who is going to hang you? You need to understand that. Because nobody has asked us this much questions. So, yeah, either this one or else, yes, pass 50 trillion liquidity in one account. 50 trillion US dollars in one account. Because I want that account. I want that huge amount of surplus funds in order not to betray the people of the land, in order to keep your this one safe. You can, okay, I will form a SMG nation inside the IMF. And then, okay, like BRICS, like NATO, like G7, like G20. Like G7, like G20, like BRICS or NATO, I have to form my own group of nations. Okay, like many people, not only in India, in Cambodia, in Indonesia, in Haiti, in Somalia, Sudan, Mali, Malawi, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, the South Sudan, okay, I mentioned, Libya. Many people are hungry and they are angry on their own government. That's the reason I have to do this. Because, and people in Gaza, people in Palestine, yeah, everyone, they are hungry and they are angry, and they are having insecurity, because I have to solve this problem of hunger. I have to solve the problem of insecurity. To solve the problems of hunger and insecurity, yes, I'm going to use only $1 trillion on myself, and the rest of the $49 trillion, they are going to be used for the development of the nations, for the development of the poor people who are living in every part of the world, every part of weaker currency nations like Lebanon, like Zimbabwe, like Argentina. Yeah, okay, because Argentina is also facing a lot of problems. Because my because I have seen all these things. I have seen the poverty. I have seen the poverty. What happens when you don't have the cash inside your wallet? I know really well. Because you can't buy the food. Actually, the food should not have the price only. Why? When the God has given you the land for free, when you are manufacturing the seeds, and you are working, okay, okay, that is community food. You can do it, but you don't have, because what the God has given you for free, that you are charging it. That's the biggest sin. You should not charge any money only on the food, according to me, because the grains are for free. Because the grains, they don't have any arrogance. You have arrogance. So pass $50 trillion in one particular account. That is, I'm going to approve it in IMF and United Nations organization. Okay, and I'm going to start my own SMG ventures. Okay, SMG. What? 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 SMG. Okay, group of nations like G7, like G20, like NATO and the BRICS. Okay, all these things, like the Commonwealth. Okay, I have to start this thing, and I have to help this thing, because the Britishers, they have looted every single African nation. They have their footprints all over the world, and nobody has asked even a single question to them. Congratulations. So I have to ask everyone. So in the next video, I'm going to make out everyone. Okay, this is the only chance, because I'm giving you a chance to save your courses, save your course, and stop the corruption, stop the everything. Because either I will remove you, okay, either I have to remove you from your own thing, or else I have to, okay, you are printing this thing, okay, print the liquidity and give it to me. $50 trillion. You can print any cash, because I'm not chasing the goods and services. I'm saying this. Okay, I'm saying this. 49 trillion. 1 trillion is sufficient. 1 trillion is sufficient. And 49 trillion goes for the development of other nations by building the assets in every single country and collecting the revenue. And we have to give it to the poor people. Finished, done. And you have to take the less profit. Yes, finished. I can make that. So that's the only way to stop these things. I'm giving you options. I'm giving you options after options. I'm giving options after options, because I have to solve the problems of humanity, not only India. Then only you're called as human, because you have to think not only about the Indians, you have to think about the entire world. Because 7.2 billion people, they have only 15% or 10% of the wealth, but the top 10%, they hold almost 85 to 90% of the wealth of the entire world. That's the reason the global hunger index of the world, it's somewhat disturbing, and this IMF is making amends after amends. First of all, IMF should not exist. Why? IMF should not exist because it is giving out the funds and it is giving out the conditions that you have to do this, you have to do that. Then what is the use of calling it as an international monetary fund? What is the use of having a lot of gold, metric tons of gold inside it? Yeah, it has almost some 2,800 metric tons of gold. 2,500 metric tons of gold it has, I think. I don't know about. Okay, but it is in this range only. It is. And it wants the gold to be not to be shared, but to be sold. By selling the gold, you are enslaving the slaves. Means inside enslaving the entire people only. You are enslaving the slaves inside the matrix. Why the people are called as slaves? They are workers. That's the reason the employee term is given to them. Okay, so that they should not feel out the problems. That is called as slaves without chains concept. Okay, that is different. Yeah. But remember, this man, these three people, they are dead. They are dead inside. They are completely dead. They are completely dead. These three men, here, here, and here. These people are dead. These people are dead. 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 This one is dead. Take it. Take it. Keep it in your. Okay, keep it in your pocket. Yeah. Okay, keep it in your pocket. Keep it in your pocket. I don't want this. 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 Again, let us do it, because you have to feel the pain. How much I have felt the pain. You have to feel the pain of every single Indian who has paying the taxes. Okay, who 1.46 billion people, they are praying every single day to the God. Okay, okay, top 10%. Remove the top 10%. 130 crore people, they are praying to God themselves every single day that their government is going to work for them. When the government does not work for them, they are working for themselves. They are working for themselves. They are working for themselves. They're working for themselves. They're working for themselves. They're working for themselves. They're working for themselves. When they're working for themselves only, then when they're working for themselves only, okay, then why the hell I want to keep my money inside your Indian bank accounts? Why I have to maintain all these things? Why I have to maintain this thing? Why I have to maintain this thing? Why I have to cast even a vote? Yeah, this is the voter ID. This is the voter ID. This is the voter ID. Then voter ID. Okay, remember. Okay, this is the voter ID. This is the voter ID. And this thing, Election Commission of India. This is the Election Commission. Okay, this is the Election Commission of India. This is the Election Commission of India. If this is the Election Commission of India, okay, and this is the Election Commission of India, and it is not going to make any means any. Okay, this is any. This is not going to make any. This is not going to make any difference. This election commission, this election commission, okay, this election commission is never ever going to make out any difference. Why? Democracy is rigged. Democracy is rigged. It's a fixed game of 5 years. Why I am playing the fixed game of 5 years where I don't have any accountability? I am playing the fixed game of 5 years which has no accountability. I know who is going to win. Then why I am playing this game? 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 Huh? Why I am playing? Why I am playing this game? Why I am playing this game? Huh? Then why I am playing? Then why I am playing this game? Why I am playing this game? Why I am playing this game? Why I'm playing this game? Huh? 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 Why I'm playing this game? 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 Why I have to play this game? Why I have to play this game? Which happens once in a 5 years, where the players, they only play themselves, they only collect the ticket prices, and they only keep it in their pockets, and the people who are seeing it, they are going to be robbed because they have done betting They have done betting on these people. They have given out their entire money on theirs. Means the Congress and the BJP, whoever is going to win those particular matches. See, remember, India. Okay, let us consider democracy as a cricket game, where India, okay, where Congress and the BJP are playing against each other, which means the players they are playing against themselves, because they know one is going to get winning and one is going to get losing. Whoever wins, they can have the chance to do the corruption. Whoever is not winning, they is going to have the party funds from the rich man to keep quiet. He's going to get the funds from the rich man, the same set of group, the same set of rich men to keep mouth shut. That is what democracy is all about. That is what democracy. I know the democracy. Okay, I know the democracy. What it happens, why it happens, how it happens. Democracy is never ever called as democracy. It is called as Prajaprabhutva. It's not Prajaprabhutva, it's a minister Prabhutva. It's a Mantri Prabhutva. It's never ever. The Mantris have become, you know what? The goddamn gods, okay, who have come from heaven. So I don't want them. I don't want. Okay, even though their section, other sections are there, democracy is there, but still, I can trust them. But I can trust Indian people, Indian ministers. I can never ever trust Indian ministers in my lifetime. I will never ever trust Indian ministers. Maybe they are from Congress, maybe they are from BJP, maybe they are from any. I can trust the aliens. I can trust the aliens if they come and rule us. Okay, I can trust the snakes. I can trust the cows. What is the property of a snake? It will hiss, it will emit the poison. I know about snakes, so that I can, yes, so I can go. So, I know about cows. I know about cows. They give milk. I know about the buffaloes. I know about the bulls because they have, because I have to stay. I have to stay. I know elephants. I have to be careful. I have to be careful. I have to be, careful about the frog. Okay, I have to careful about the reptiles, like, okay, the lizards, everything. I have to careful about the. I know. Okay, I have to be careful against the dogs because their dogs are going to bite me if they are mad enough. Rabies will happen. I know the wild. Okay, I know about the wild dogs. I know about the cheetahs, panthers, lions, tigers, foxes, crows. Every single thing I know because I know the property of these animals, and I have to take care about myself so that I have to protect. I should not go to the jungle, otherwise they are going to eat me. This is the first thing. Then what about ministers then? Who will show one face in front of the media and they go to the resort, they go to the hotels and they show the other faces? What about them? And I don't want this useless nonsense bullshit talking shit. I don't want this thing. I will never ever allow anyone to decide my own life, not even God, not even my parents, to decide my own destiny. You kill me, you kill me, you like me, you hate me, okay? You kill me, you like me, you hate me, you don't want me, okay? You mock me, I don't care. I don't care because, okay, the reason is simple. Right now there is nothing, there is nothing. Get all these things, get all these things and get lost. Get all these things and get lost. Okay, I don't want to have a citizenship. Okay, yeah, but I want to help people of India. Okay, how? Building the establishments, building the assets in other European nations, and passing out the revenue to all the Indians. Finish, done. That I can do it. If the Indians are not going to unite, if that's the reason, if you don't want me to do this by establishing, just pass out $2.5 trillion. That is going to be mine. That is going to be mine. I can't do anything. I can't do anything because the fund should be greater in order to start the SMG nation inside the IMF. That is the main aim. In order to remove unemployment, poverty, hunger, illiteracy in every single weaker currency nations. Print the cash, let us invest there without chasing any goods and services. okay, making everyone employed in other countries, and they will pass out the revenue, and that revenue will be passed to the people of the weaker currency nations by making them benefited. You know the formula of Federal Reserve. What is the formula of Federal Reserve? What is the formula of Federal Reserve? The formula of Federal Reserve is simple. Money flows too much money flows outside the country. Too much money flows inside the country. Sorry, first inside. Too much money flows inside the country, chasing the same number of goods and services within the country. Okay, too much money flows inside the country, chasing the same number of goods and services. Okay, but having the more number of people creates a hyperinflation. But too much money, but whereas too much money flows outside the country, too much money flows outside the country in the form of investments, assets, establishments, and everything. Foreign investments. And that revenue is going to come, okay, and fall into the treasury. And that is going to valuate your currency, not devalue your currency, even though you know only how to devalue your currency through corruption. That's the only way. That's the only way I can stop Indian people from dying. If they cannot raise the voice, if they cannot raise the voice, I have to start. I have to start. Okay, okay. Pass the liquidity. You can pass any liquidity. 50 trillion, 100 trillion, 500 trillion, 5,000 trillion, 10,000 trillion. As long as I'm not chasing the goods and services inside your country, finish done. That's the reason you need to know about the economics. But if you don't know about the economics, you are going to be. That's the reason. That's the reason you need to understand all these things. Otherwise, I can't do anything. Take this. Take this. Finish. Jai. Bye. Okay. But you need to make sure that I lose the citizenship of India if you are not willing to do that. Okay? Because I have to lose the citizenship of India. Then only a message will be delivered to the Indian government. To this Indian government which is enslaving us through the childhood. Why they give the citizenship through us? Because our mammas and our papas, okay, our family is going to pay the taxes on okay behalf of us. Okay, for every single toy, okay, Johnson baby powder, okay, milk powder or milk packet, okay, whatever, okay, or else, okay, what, okay, some clothes, fancy clothes, every single thing has a tax associated with it. That's the reason they give us citizenship. Nothing is free. If you think anything is free, then you are beggar, then you are a loser. Okay, so understand this thing. Nothing is free. Okay, understand these patterns. That's how you become stronger, sharper, every single day. Bye. Bye. Okay, so I'm fed up. I'm fed up. I'm really fed up right now. Really fed up by this thing. Okay, but that's the reason I have to go out. I have to go out, learn. Okay, learn. Okay, because I know how to talk English. Okay, I know how to talk English. Okay, really well. More than them, I know really well. More than those Britishers, more than those Americans who are talking English. Okay, I can talk English much really better than them. I know that I have the capability. But if I talk really well with everyone, then that proficiency will increase each and every single day. That's how these things are going to be. Okay, so you need to understand that. When you don't understand them, then nothing is going to be there. Okay, Jai Hind. Okay, Jai Hind. That particular word carries a weight, but the people who are working for this Jai Hind, they are destroying that value of Jai Hind. That's a sad thing, and that needs to be stopped.